Kazakhstan's positions are strengthening on the global transit market. The republic is becoming an important link in large trade corridors. In the first half of 2019, the total volume of transit freight grew almost 39% in Kazakhstan. Link between Kazakhstan's Nurlu Zhol program and China's One Belt One Road initiative makes the two projects mutually beneficial. The volume of freight transit along China-European Union-China route grew 26.5%. By the end of the year, the volume is expected to reach 900,000 containers.
Наши страны могут быть и должны быть большими транзитными державами. Если мы сможем построить этот транспорт.
Our countries can be and must be transit giants. If we can build this transport corridor from China to Europe, it will be beneficial for Russia, Kazakhstan, China, and Europe because this route is shorter and the freight delivery time is less than the delivery by the sea. So it has benefits for everyone.
Значительно меньше по времени, меньше времени занимает. Отсюда, конечно, экономические выгоды для всех.
The One Belt One Road initiative is seeking to pursue very ambitious and very important goals, particularly for emerging and frontier markets and countries like Kazakhstan that have so much potential. They really need the kind of investment and infrastructure needed to help them meet the Sustainable Development Goals.
Last year, 19 million tons of transit cargo went through Kazakhstan. This made up 530,000 containers of goods. The country saw the overall revenue of 427 million tenge from its transit market. The opportunities of the sea gates were increased after the reconstruction in the Aktau and Koruk seaports. The total capacity of both transshipment complexes reached 27 million tons. This year, construction and reconstruction of 4,500 kilometers of roads and highways are underway. Construction of the railway line bypassing the Almaty station will begin in 2020. This will reduce the goods delivery time by an average of 2 days. According to experts, such steps will allow the republic to become a major international transit hub and increase the public revenues. Kazakhstan and Kyrgyzstan are strengthening trade and economic cooperation. Trade and goods turnover is growing between the two countries. Border crossing points are being upgraded and increased in number to support the active exchange. The Kazakh Ministry of Industry and Infrastructural Development have already calculated all the necessary estimates for reconstruction of the Korday checkpoint. Every day, nearly 1,500 cars pass through this point in both directions. Works on building the throughput capacity at the Korday checkpoint will begin in September. Building works will begin after the tourist season. Modernization is planned to end before the next tourist season. After the reconstruction, the throughput capacity will be 2 to 3 times higher. This will help strengthen trade and economic relations between the two countries. The first infrastructure site of the Central Asia-China gas pipeline in Tajikistan is almost ready. This is a 1,560 meters long tunnel. Construction of another 4 tunnels is scheduled to begin in the second half of the year. Construction of the Tajik part of the Central Asia-China gas pipeline will be completed in 2024. The new gas pipeline will have a total length of 966 kilometers and will pass through the territory of 5 countries: Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kyrgyzstan, and China. It will allow increasing the total throughput to 85 billion cubic meters per year. The first Uzbek-Indian Congress of Guides will be held in Tashkent on August 4th. 180 delegates of India's Federation of Guides and more than 70 tourism industry experts of Uzbekistan will gather together to share experience. The organizers hope this will help Uzbekistan to boost its tourism industry and improve services sector. The Congress will become an open dialogue platform for addressing challenges in the tourism industry. American filmmakers will produce a historical TV series about Central Asia in the 11th and 12th centuries. The filming will start in October in Uzbekistan. Uzbek and American parties have already agreed on the locations for shooting. The first pilot project will be released in English with a main cast of American actors. The filmmakers are planning to involve Uzbek actors for the subsequent episodes. The International Energetic Cosmos Laboratory of the Nazarbayev University has the world's fastest telescope. The components for the telescope were imported from the United States, but our Kazakh scientists have been involved in its modification. The equipment is one of a kind, just like the space laboratory, which is unique to the entire Central Asia. The researchers here conduct comprehensive and complex space studies.
За 6 секунд может направиться на любую точку неба.
It can be directed at any point in the space and make an observation in just 6 seconds. There are processes in space that pass very quickly. One of them is the fast gamma-ray bursts. It is an analog of thermonuclear reactions. The second component of the telescope has been installed in the Space Observatory on the Asit-Turgen Plateau in the Almaty region. The two telescopes will work in conjunction starting this fall. The space photographs will be available online to the scientists from different countries. The device with a lens with a diameter of only 70 centimeters is the brainchild of the Energetic Cosmos Laboratory at Nazarbayev University. To ensure accurate observations of the universe, the scientists need unique ultra-precise detectors, which are also developed by the Kazakh specialists.
Они могут быть использованы в любой сфере, как и аграрной, где необходима переработка информации. Детекторы мы...
They can be used in any area where information processing is necessary. We use detectors in order to monitor phenomena that occur in the space and other phenomena such as gamma flares. In order to test this detector, we need an absolute zero.
Этот детектор, нам необходима очень низкая температура, почти что абсолютный ноль.
It can only be obtained with special equipment that is planned to be installed on a telescope. Now, the main goal is to commercialize such science projects. This is a rather complicated process, but the effects will be invaluable, experts say, both for Kazakhstan and for the global space industry. Kazakhstan is working towards increasing the use of sustainable energy resources. Last year, the industry with 70 renewable energy power stations working across Kazakhstan saw investments worth 35 billion tenge. 52 new power stations with a total capacity of 2 gigawatts will be commissioned by 2020. 1 trillion tenge will be spent to promote green energy in the Jambal region, one of the country's leaders in green economy. Here, 25 renewable energy power stations will be built by 2023. A new 100 megawatt wind power station will soon be launched in the Sarasу district.
Жамбыл облысының өңірі 2019-2023 жылға дейін алдағы уақытта 23-25 жобаны іске асыру.
This wind farm will produce 350 to 450 kilowatt hours of electricity per year. The capacity of all stations in the region will total 1,390 megawatts by 2023. Construction of renewable energy power stations will have a positive impact on the economic development of the region and the environment.
Экономикасының дамуына, әлеуметтік саланың жағдайының жақсаруына өте жақсы әсерін беретін болады.
New touristic routes have been developed in Nur Sultan. The authors of the new project are the local tour guides, members of the NGOs, and officials of the local mayor's office. The new routes include 35 sites, buildings, monuments, mosques, and bridges. There are 2 routes. The first one in red lasts 2.5 hours. The second one in blue is for those tourists who are limited in time. The tour lasts 1 hour. Combining the buildings representing different times was one of the challenges of the developers. Some of the buildings included in the route date back to the end of the 19th century, when the city was first founded, while others are brand new.
Здесь для предпринимателей и торговцев, купцов, открылся своя...
Farmers, entrepreneurs, and merchants flocked here in the 19th century because livestock trade was at its height. Kazakhs had plenty of cattle which were cheaper to buy compared to the neighboring lands, so the merchants found their way here very quickly.
До 10 крупных рогатого скота. И поэтому купцы быстро разбогатели.
Not all the pre-revolutionary buildings were preserved in Nur-Sultan, but those that remain have a rich history. This building is the former home of merchant Pyotr Moiseyev.
Построить такой дом было довольно сложно. В то время нужно было...
This type of houses required lots of resources at the time. One had to be rich to afford a house like this. The houses in the city of Akhmola before the 1917 revolution were predominantly made of wood. Rich merchants had lots of property here demonstrating their status. Bricks for construction were brought from Atbasar. Not far from here, in the right bank of the Yesil River, there are remains of a fence of the so-called Green Mosque. It was called so because of the paint color. The mosque was built in the late 19th century and then was destroyed during the Soviet period.
Вот это ворота входные были вот в эту мечеть.
This was an entry gate. It was renovated. The fence used to be plastered and renovated every year for a long time, but the plaster was removed 2 or 3 years ago. As you can see, the bricks were preserved in the same condition. Also, tin protection cover has been made here. The fence looks new.
В каком он был. Ну, сделали вот сверху жестяную такую защиту от дождя.
According to the experts, nowadays the interest in the old architecture is reviving. This means that new tourism projects are gaining momentum. Traveler Alexander Gabchenko wants to discover Kazakhstan from a new angle. He is set to run across the country in 14 races, one in each region of the country. The unique project titled I Run Kazakhstan covers the most spectacular natural sights of the country. Despite the difficult weather conditions, the traveler has already run across 7 regions, that is half of his journey. Alexander is planning to run the rest of the routes before the end of the year. According to Alexander, each race takes about 4 hours. In just 7 stages, Alexander Gabchenko ran 210 kilometers. I Run Kazakhstan will help showcase the wide variety of natural landscapes the author believes. In addition, the project will contribute to the promotion of active tourism.
Я стараюсь выбирать такие сочные, красивые места и с визуальной точки зрения красивые места, и с эстетической точки зрения.
I try to choose the most beautiful, visually and aesthetically appealing places, the places that a tourist can visit. I try to promote active tourism. I want to let the people discover Kazakhstan with new eyes, in a new way. We have rich nature. I would like more and more people to know that Kazakhstan can offer a variety of types of leisure and travel. I want them to know how they can navigate in the country, what places they can visit.
Да, каким образом отдыхать внутри Казахстана, чтобы они поняли, что путешествие по Казахстану это очень интересно.
The researchers at the Kazakh National Archive are studying the ancient manuscripts. They will soon work together with the Scientific Expert Council of Kazakhstan's Ethnic Assembly. This cooperation will create an opportunity for new research prospects. The ancient manuscripts are the artifacts of the national history, the local researchers believe. The special platform will allow the representatives of various ethnic groups to be involved in the work. The National Archive now stores nearly 6,000 volumes of manuscripts. The most valuable is the manuscript of the 10th century about the life of Prophet Muhammad. The manuscript has already been translated into several languages.
Біздің тарихымызды, мәдениетімізді, тілімізді, дінімізді жақсылап тереңірек зерттейтін болсақ,
in order to study our history, culture, first of all, we need these manuscripts that have survived till today. These original records in Farsi and Chinese. In the future, our scientists will share the results of their research with the general public. We want to appeal to a wide circle of readers who are interested in the history of Kazakhstan, Central Asia, and Eurasia.
Зерттеушілер арқылы ары қарай біздің бұқара біздің халыққа соны студенттерге де жеткізу мақсатымыз болып тұр.
A traveling exhibition, History of the Great Steppe, has been opened in Taldyqorghan. The exposition features over 100 works by 12 well-known Kazakh masters of visual and applied arts. Here, the visitors can see a collection of cradles, pillows with the image of Kazakh warriors, household items that tell about the national traditions and customs. The exhibition is organized in the framework of the implementation of the first president's Article 7, Faces of the Great Steppe. Residents and guests of Taldyqorghan can enjoy the exhibition until August 13. The presented installation is about 7 meters high, 5 of which are the horse's head. Horse in our culture has always played an important role, just like a yurt that represented a whole life cycle in the Kazakh culture. We wanted to draw the visitors' attention to the spiritual and sacral meaning of the exhibition. Kazakh films have been presented to the Armenian viewers. River by Emir Baygazin and Aika by Sergei Dvortsevoy was screened at the Golden Apricot International Film Festival in Yerevan and Gyumri. Actress Semal Islamova, who played the part of Aika, won the Best Actress nomination in Cannes in 2018. I have met amazing people here. There's a great atmosphere in Yerevan and Gyumri. We have received a heartfelt welcome. People are so nice here. The Kazakh actress believes there should be a better cooperation between the filmmakers of the two countries. I would be happy to star in an Armenian film. It would be something new and interesting. This year, the festival organizers decided to honor with special attention those who are making their first steps in the world of cinema. 15 films were selected among hundreds, including Fire by Kazakh director Ayjan Qasimbek and producer Diana Ashimova.
Это третья часть задуманного своего рода киноальманаха «Четыре стихии».
This is the third part of the Four Forces of Nature anthology film. The first two films were Water and Air. They were short films. The third film is our debut in full-length film. It is a social drama with elements of comedy. We have big plans for this project.
Большие планы на этот проект, поскольку мы уже задали себе высокую планку.
Чем больше слияния культур разных стран, тем высокий творчество.
The stronger the dialogue between the cultures, the more creative work we can see, the more we understand each other.
Понимают друг друга и лучше интегрируются. У многих очень-очень сильные проекты, так что конкуренция очень большая.
Within the framework of the festival, renowned filmmakers held master classes for novice directors and producers. As part of the festival competition, the authors of the winning film will be able to receive training in Cannes.